America, we got to get back to doing what's expected of us as free citizens in this democracy. That means being tolerant, being respectful, staying informed, and being engaged. I'm former Congressman Joe Walsh. Follow me here and join the millions of Americans who are renewing their social contract with each other. The social contract, it's on us. An utterly horrible act of political violence. Start there. Reflect upon that. Think about that. An utterly horrible, tragic act of political violence in Minnesota over the weekend. 2 Democratic state legislators targeted in what authorities are calling a politically motivated assassinations. A Minnesota state legislator and her husband were both shot and killed over the weekend. Another Minnesota state legislator and his wife were shot 9 times and they've survived. After about a 2 to 3 day manhunt, the 57-year-old suspect was apprehended late last night. He's been charged with 2 counts of second-degree murder, 2 counts of attempted second-degree murder. Again, the headline is, these were politically motivated assassination attempts. This was an act of horrific political violence that has taken the life of a Minnesota state legislator and her husband and severely injured another Minnesota state legislator and his wife. Political violence. Political violence. You would think that the entire country this weekend would unite around just condemning that. Republican, Democrat, Independent, MAGA, never Trumper, everybody in between, far right, far left. No matter where you were on Saturday, right? And you heard the news, right? Oh my God. Politically motivated shootings in Minnesota. You would think the entire country would just simply unite around the fact that this is wrong and this must be condemned by all. But no, we didn't do that. Damn near all of us didn't do that. Damn near all of us, when you heard the news Saturday about this horrible shooting, these shootings in Minnesota, when you heard the news, most every American right away tried to place the blame on the other side. It was a crazy leftist. It was a MAGA guy. Right away, instantly, damn near everybody, instead of reflecting upon what happened, damn near everybody engaged in a race to try to get to where they could blame the other side. The shooter, the killer belonged to the other side. The shooter, the killer was a Trump supporter. The shooter, the killer was a crazy leftist. Right away, damn near every American did that. and hunted for clues and stripped away everything else, stripped away matters of life and death, stripped away trying to unify this country right away, damn near every American set out upon the task of trying to find whatever they could find to blame the other side for what happened. It became a race. Damn near everybody looking for clues. Oh, he was a white guy, 57-year-old white guy. He targeted Democrats. There were no Kings flyers in his car. Did you hear, Joe? It's because of you and the No Kings people. Right away, we all look for clues, man. We all look for clues because damn near all of us, all we wanted to do this weekend was to be able to blame the other side for this act of political violence. That was the objective. That was the quest. It's all we cared about. Even a horrific act of political violence this week in Minnesota, it's like we didn't even think about what happened. We all only thought about blaming the other side for what happened. And I'm generalizing when I say damn near all of us. I'm purposely generalizing when I say damn near all of us, but damn near all of us did. Damn near all of us online did. Damn near all of us did. Damn near most people on the MAGA right did. Damn near most people on the left did. And in between. And be honest, if you can be honest. Be honest. When you heard of these shootings in Minnesota, be honest. You were hoping and praying it was the other side, right? You were hoping and praying it was a crazy MAGA Trump supporter, or you were hoping and praying it was like a Muslim American, or you were hoping and praying that it was a crazy leftist Trump hater. Be honest, if you can. What does that say? That we all learn about an act of terrible political violence over the weekend, and our instant reaction is, hope and pray it's the other side, and I'm going to only focus on trying to prove it's the other side. What does that say about us, TikTok? What does that say about how corrosively divided we are, how corrosively partisan and tribal we are? People lost their lives. Lives have been damaged. My God, an entire state was traumatized all weekend because we couldn't find this guy. And most of the country is just playing the tit for tat game, just playing boom, boom, boom. It's the other side. It's like that's all we were focused on. I was out speaking all weekend at a bunch of No Kings rallies this weekend. And in between rallies, driving from one rally to the other, I heard about the shooting. I didn't tweet or post anything, I don't think, about what happened in Minnesota because I didn't want to play this game. I didn't even want to start down that road. I think I tweeted something like, political violence is always wrong. It's meant to divide and silence us. Don't you be silenced. No matter what side you're on, protest peacefully and speak your piece. I didn't even address Minnesota. And I think, by the way, this is something so important for all of us to do because it's going to happen again. There will be an act of terror. There will be another act of political violence. This is the world, the country we live in right now. How about we don't do what we did this weekend? How about the next shooting, the next act of political violence? How about we all just shut our mouths and wait? And wait until we know the facts, and wait until we know who did it and why he or she did it. How about we stop? How about we all say political violence is wrong no matter where it comes from? And how about we don't say, oh, all the political violence is on the left or all of the political violence is on the right? How about we stop that bullshit because both sides are fully capable of political violence, huh? That's the truth. That's the truth. Both sides engage in political violence. How about the next shooting, the next act of political violence? We don't right away try to hunt and cast blame right out of the gate and prove it's the other side right out of the gate. Because I got to tell you, that's what happened this weekend. And it was ugly. Now, here we sit. I sit Monday morning, a couple days after the fact, and in just the facts, the shooter, a 57-year-old white guy, just the facts. Immediately, the authorities said these were politically motivated assassinations. That was based on what they found in his car. What they found in the shooter's car was primarily a 2-page list of about 60 to 70 names of politicians this guy was intending to shoot. All Democrats. He was targeting Democrats in Minnesota, pro-choice Democrats, pro-choice Democrats in Minnesota, Wisconsin, Illinois, Michigan, Nebraska, and Iowa. This shooter, that's what the police found in his car, a long list of Democratic politicians that this guy was targeting. This guy was very pro-life, very anti-abortion. It was an issue that animated him. The Democrats that he targeted on this list, 60 to 70 names, were all pro-choice Democrats. But again, I'm coming to you on Monday, and we still don't know why he did what he did. That's what the cops found in his car. The cops also found in his car a bunch of No Kings flyers. And right away, when that came out Saturday or Sunday, right away, one side was fully prepared, fully prepared. They jumped, man. This is all because of the No Kings movement. What authorities found in his car were some No Kings flyers, and they found his manifesto, his list. He was going after pro-choice Democrats. He wanted to kill pro-choice Democrats. These two Minnesota state legislators who he shot, they were Democrats. Tim Walz, the governor of Minnesota, was on the list. The United States senators from Minnesota, Democrat, were all on the list. All Democrats, all pro-choice Democrats. This guy was on some workforce development board, some government task force, 41 members. He was listed on that board. 2 Democratic governors had appointed him. Walz reappointed him to some workforce development board. He listed himself as no party affiliation. On this 41-member board, it was bipartisan. They had Republicans and Democrats. I'm trying just to give you the facts. He had a home out in the country where he lived with his wife. He lived with a roommate in an apartment in Minnesota. The roommate said he had not been happy the last month or two. This guy's roommate said, of course, he voted for Trump in 2024. He voted for Trump in 2024. He was passionately anti-abortion. Militantly anti-abortion, his roommate said. His roommate said he voted for Trump in 2024. Had these No Kings flyers in his car and had his manifesto, his list. This is who I'm going to go try to kill. All these Democrats, all these pro-choice Democrats. I'm sitting here before you this Monday, 2 days after the fact. I don't know who this guy is and why he did what he did. As of now, that's pretty much all we know about this guy. There's some personal stuff we know, the ups and downs of his career, how the last couple of months he wasn't doing real well. His roommate said he left a note for them saying that he was going to be gone for a while and he may even be dead. Left that note a few days ago, a few days before the shooting. We don't know this Monday. This is the point. Why this horribly evil, sick person did what he did. I just recited basic facts based on what authorities so far have said they know about this guy and found out about this guy. And his roommate has been on TV all of yesterday. The guy's roommate, talking about how he was a big Trump supporter and he voted for Trump in 2024, talking about how he was a great guy, militantly anti-abortion, talking about the fact that he left this note that, you know what, he had something to do, he may not be around, and talking about how depressed he was the last month or two. That's all the roommate said. And that's all authorities know. The point is this is Monday, 2 days after the fact. The point is this: immediately after we found out about this shooting, these politically motivated assassinations on Saturday, nobody waited for any of these facts. Nobody. Damn near everybody said, it was the right. It was the left. Immediately, our instant gut reaction is to cast blame. You talk about a nation, I mean, dangerously divided. Political assassination attempts, and we can't even unite around that. We can't even as a people say, stop, time out. That's really bad. That's really wrong. I'm going to think about and pray about the victims and their families. Let's find out who did this and why before we get stupidly political and partisan. That's what I've been thinking about all weekend, was how that was like the instant and almost only reaction. It's like, come on now, be honest. Most of us, when something like this happens, so many people are like salivating, man. Oh man, I hope it was a Muslim. I hope it was a crazy leftist. I hope it was a whacked out MAGA Trump cultist, right? We all say way too many Americans go down that road. Listen to yourselves. We got to get off of the road because we got to get off of this road because look at where the road leads. What we should be talking about this Monday. This road of hate, this road of the other side is my political enemy. This road takes us to political violence. This is the road that normalizes political violence. This is the end of the road, right? When we are on a road where the people we disagree with, we no longer just disagree with them. We no longer think they're just our political opponent. We think they're our enemy. We think they're our mortal enemy. We want to destroy them. We hate them. We stay on that road. The end of that road is what happened in Minnesota this weekend. Political violence. Because when you hate the person you disagree with politically, and again, I'm not talking to this guy because we don't know why he did what he did. But when you hate the person you disagree with politically, when you consider that person to be your enemy, your mortal enemy, can't you see? Don't you see? Don't you see how easy it is to take that next leap? Well, he's my enemy. He's my mortal enemy. I hate him. So I'm going to. This is what this country should be focused on right now. Man, this was a big, big weekend, right? 10, 11, 12 million people out there. No Kings protest all over the country, man. I was thrilled and exhilarated to speak at some of these rallies. This resistance to who and what Trump is. That's great, great stuff. Exciting, organic, grassroots stuff happening all over the country. People protesting peacefully, resisting peacefully. And then you had Trump and his Kim Jong-un military parade in DC. And again, you maybe MAGA, you loved it, right? But to me, our troops deserve better than what they had to do in Washington, DC this past weekend. But this should have been a weekend where both sides were out there proudly and peacefully expressing their views. But we had a horrific act of political violence. And an act of political violence that should have momentarily, no matter what side you're on, momentarily caused each and every one of us to pause. Stop. Stop. It's a reminder. What happened in Minnesota is a reminder. It's a reminder. Hate takes us to political violence. Hate normalizes political violence. Condemn political violence. Talk people off of, away from political violence. All political violence is wrong. We all should be in a position to be able to freely say that. And no but. There's no but. There's no but to that. Stop being stupidly and dangerously partisan. Both sides, all sides, commit acts of political violence. MAGA, your side commits acts of political violence. My far left brothers and sisters, your side commits acts of political violence. Get off of it. Condemn it all. Don't you dare say, but my side doesn't. Your side does. We don't know why this killer did what he did in Minnesota. But the evidence right now is pointing toward he was a militantly pro or anti-abortion Trump voter. I'm not going to say that yet. The evidence is pointing toward that. The truth is, both sides, all sides, are capable of political violence. And this thing can't continue. This thing being this 249-year-old experiment in freedom and democracy cannot and will not continue if we continue down this road, the road that leads to political violence. Last thing I want to bring up this morning. Hear me, hear me. I used to be a Trump voter. I voted for Trump in 2016. I, as a rule, do my damnedest, right, to not attack Trump voters. I used to be one. I engage with Trump voters all the time. They're good, good people. I mean that. There are good people on both sides, all sides. I will say whatever I want to say about Donald Trump because I think Donald Trump is utterly un-American. I said over the weekend, I think Donald Trump is America's enemy. And I can explain that, and I will happily explain that anytime. By the way, when I say Trump's America's enemy, I say that because Donald Trump opposes freedom, democracy, the Constitution, and the rule of law. That's what America is. That's what America is. Freedom, democracy, the Constitution, and the rule of law. And if you oppose those things, if you are a threat to those things, if you would do away with those founding American principles, you are America's enemy. That's Trump in my mind. Donald Trump, in my bones, is America's enemy. And I said such. I said as much over the weekend. Even he's also just a horribly divisive person. Everything Donald Trump does is meant to divide us. Everything. Disaster relief. No, I'll only give it to you if you voted for me. Disaster relief. No, not if you're in a blue state, if you're in a red state. Everything Trump does is to divide us. Even these ICE immigration raids and detentions. Donald Trump, if you've got that, Keith, tweeted over the weekend. It's about a 30,000 word tweet. Don't read it. I'll give you the gist. The gist of this tweet of Trump's is, hey, I've told my immigration cops, I've told ICE only to go into blue cities and blue states. We are only going to go after people in this country illegally, only in blue cities and blue states. That's it. Only blue cities and blue states. Illegal immigrants, the president said, in red cities and red states, don't worry, I'm not coming after you. I'm only going after illegal immigrants in democratic states, in democratic cities. And by the way, MAGA, there are people in this country illegally in every state in the union and every city in the union. The president of the United States is even taking an issue like this and using it to divide us. It's clear what Trump's plan is. It's clear what America's enemies' plan is. He says it right here. He's only sending ICE into blue cities and blue states. Those are Trump's words, MAGA. And he's doing it, to be clear. Trump wants to incite violence in blue cities, in blue states. He wants the country to think, oh my God, only Democrats are violent. So I'm going into LA. I'm going into Chicago. I'm going into New York City, man. Look, America, look at how violent Democrats are. God, he's such a horrible guy. Such a horrible guy. And then Trump's plan will be to put our military on the streets only in blue cities and blue states, to mess up blue cities and blue states, to try to get the country to stand against blue cities and blue states, even on this issue of immigration. Maybe to screw with next year's election, midterm elections, only in blue cities and blue states. Now, I'm going to reach down to you, Trump supporter right now, MAGA right now. You Trump supporter, you're all about, man, defending the border. And if you're in this country illegally, respectfully, you got to go. If you're a Trump voter and you believe that, this ought to offend you, because there are people in this country illegally. And by the way, America, the most number of people in this country illegally are in 3 states: California, Texas, and Florida. Now, where I sit, right, those 3 states, those are the states where most of the illegals are in: California, Texas, and Florida. And where I sit, 2 of those 3 states are red states: Florida and Texas. Them there aren't blue states. Only California is the blue state. Look what Trump's been doing in LA. Look at Trump focusing on LA. Next will come Chicago, then New York City. Donald Trump is ignoring illegal immigrants in Florida and Texas. Why? Because those are red states. What a horrible man. What an ugly, divisive man. And if you want people who are in this country illegally to leave, well, then you ought to want our immigration cops to go where they are. And it ought to bother you that they're only going to blue states. And by the way, missing out on 2 big red states. You could grab a lot of them in Texas and Florida. It should bother you and offend you that even on an issue like this, MAGA, that you feel so damn strongly about. Get them, Joe, get them out of the country. If you're here illegally, you got to go. Trump's not doing that. Trump's not doing that. That ought to bother you. He's ignoring Texas and Florida. That should bother you, and every other red state. every other red state. But again, MAGA, I'm appealing to your sense of love of country, and I'm appealing to your honesty. And I'm asking you to take a look at your hypocrisy. And I'm asking you not to be so stupidly partisan. He is the utter worst of us. He is the absolute worst of us. We have someone in the White House who does everything in order to divide us. I just cannot and will not believe most of the American people want that. And by the way, based on the folks out there at the No Kings rallies all over the country, 2,100 some rallies in big towns and small towns and everywhere in between, well over 11 to 12 million people out there peacefully protesting this weekend. The evidence is clear that most of America doesn't want a divisive asshole in the White House. Hey, thank you for listening, everybody. My email, if you want to shoot me an email, thesocialcontractwithjoewalsh@gmail.com. The Social Contract with Joe Walsh. That's all one word. No kings, baby. No kings in America. Thanks for listening, everybody. Be brave. Thank you, TikTok.
Thank you for listening. Remember to listen, share, and follow The Social Contract with Joe Walsh on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, and everywhere great podcasts are found. And be sure to leave a 5-star review. This has been The Social Contract with Joe Walsh.